Lena's journey began on a seemingly ordinary day. After a long day of work as a therapist, she boarded the train, exhausted. She settled into her seat and soon fell asleep, unaware of the eerie events that would soon unfold. Strange sounds echoed through the carriages, and Lena felt a chill run down her spine. The lights flickered erratically, casting shadows that danced on the walls. Panic set in as the train screeched to an abrupt halt in the middle of nowhere, plunging the passengers into a suffocating darkness. Lena glanced around and saw that the other passengers remained still, their faces blank and lifeless. With a mix of fear and resolve, Lena stepped off the train. As she did, she watched in astonishment as the train began to dissolve into the surrounding darkness. The once familiar vehicle faded away, vanishing into thin air, leaving her alone in the void, with only the unsettling silence of the empty platform to accompany her. A strange, echoing sound filled her ears, and she felt a sudden rush of cold air. Disoriented, she found herself in an unfamiliar, empty field under a gray sky. The world around her had shifted, and she sensed something ominous lurking nearby. The field was vast, with tall, ominous trees in the distance and a dilapidated, abandoned house in the middle of the field. Shadows crept along the walls, whispering secrets she couldn't understand. The voice returned. "You're home, but you'll never leave. Time doesn't exist here." Lena realized the nightmare had only just begun. She looked out at the abandoned house, hoping for a sign of escape, but the storm raged on, trapping her. Desperation set in as she approached the house, the clock's backward ticking a constant reminder of her plight. The shadows began to form shapes, eerie figures emerging from the darkness, closing in on her. Gathering her courage, Lena approached the house, determined to find a way out of this twisted reality. The house creaked as she entered, each step echoing in the silence. At the end of a dark hallway, a door with light seeping through the cracks appeared, a beacon of hope. With a trembling hand, she reached for the handle, hoping for an escape from this nightmare. Lena's breath hitched as she stepped into the blinding light. When the glow faded, she found herself in a vast, empty field, the sky above a muted gray, as if time itself had stalled. The air was thick with an unnatural silence, the kind that made her skin prickle. The field stretched endlessly, except for a single path leading toward a dense forest shrouded in fog. Her heart pounded as she felt an invisible force urging her forward. She glanced back at the house she had come through. It was gone. With no other option, Lena began walking down the path, her footsteps muffled by the thick, damp ground. As she neared the forest, the wind began to howl, and the trees swayed, their branches twisting like gnarled hands. The whispers returned, but they were different now, more insistent, more urgent. "Keep going. Not much time." Lena's pulse quickened, her senses on high alert. Something was watching her. The shadows between the trees shifted, moving too fast for her eyes to track. Every instinct screamed at her to turn back, but there was no turning back. She pushed deeper into the forest, each step feeling like a descent into something far darker. Then, out of the corner of her eye, she saw it. A figure, barely visible through the mist. It was watching her, unmoving. Suddenly, a branch snapped behind her. Lena spun around, but nothing was there. When she turned back, the figure was gone. She was alone again, or so she thought. The path seemed to narrow and the forest closed in around her. Lena's pace quickened, her breath shallow, eyes darting from shadow to shadow. She could feel it now. Something was following her, getting closer with each step. She broke into a run, desperate to escape the unseen presence closing in on her. Lena sprinted through the dark forest, the branches clawing at her as the whispers intensified, now blending into a cacophony of voices. The air grew colder, her breath visible in the eerie mist that enveloped the path ahead. She didn't dare look back. Up ahead, the path widened, revealing an old wooden well in the center of a small clearing. The whispers hushed, as if whatever pursued her had stopped. She slowed her pace, panting, her heart pounding in her chest. As Lena approached the well, a low hum filled the air. She peered inside cautiously, finding an ancient book resting at the bottom, its cover glowing faintly. It felt significant, like it held the key to understanding her nightmarish journey. Driven by a mix of desperation and curiosity, Lena felt an inexplicable compulsion to retrieve the book, as if it held the answers she sought. She reached into the well, pulling the book out with shaking hands. As she opened it, the ground trembled beneath her feet. The book's pages glowed brighter, and the whispers returned, louder than ever. "Choose, Lena," the voice boomed. "Use the book to reveal the truth, or let the darkness consume you." Lena squeezed her eyes shut, the pressure building inside her chest. She felt the pull of the darkness behind her and the strange warmth from the book in front of her. With one last burst of resolve, she shouted, "I reveal the truth!" A blinding light exploded from the book, illuminating the forest, the well, and everything around her. The darkness recoiled, screeching in agony as the light tore through it. As the light spread, Lena felt a shift in the air. A faint, ominous whisper echoed around her, hinting at the release of something powerful and unknown. When the light finally faded, Lena found herself standing in the same field, but the forest was gone, replaced by a calm, open sky. The well had vanished, and the field was now serene. She was alone again, but this time, the weight of the chase was lifted. Whatever darkness had hunted her was gone. She had escaped. But as she looked down at her hands, still faintly glowing, Lena realized her actions had set something in motion. Her journey was far from over. Something had awakened inside her. The real question was, what would she do with it? She took a deep breath, feeling a mix of fear and determination. She knew that whatever lay ahead could be dangerous, but she felt compelled to move forward, driven by a desperate need to understand the strange occurrences around her. As she walked, her vision blurred for a moment, and she thought she saw fleeting shapes in the distance. Were they real, or just her imagination? The unease settled in. Something was out there, waiting.